I'm sitting here 10 years later and I talk about this game weekly.
I'm Melissa Amrita for Sports Illustrated, and I am joined today with the legend Johnny Football ahead of his release of his Netflix documentary, Untold. In the documentary, Johnny, you talk about your struggles with mental health and drug abuse after being cut from the Browns. What has the response been like from fans and the community as some of your past struggles have been back in the news lately?
Yeah, I think, for me, the people closest to me in my life have reached out and been nothing but positive. A couple of these things that I'm telling in the doc are things that I've never really told to anybody outside my immediate family. So we'll definitely see as the week goes on kind of how the perception is on things from the outside. But, for me, my perspective really only matters for friends and family who are close to my life. And that reception from them has been great.
What advice would you come away with to give people about struggling with mental health issues?
Yeah, that it's okay. That more people struggle than you can imagine, or you can probably wrap your head around. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to not feel all right. And I think that's something that I struggled with for the longest time, that I very quickly dismissed when somebody would ask me if I was okay or this or that. I was very closed up. I was very shy and bottled up about, my struggles and what was really going on. And I think that's the biggest thing, that the more that you can do to keep yourself vulnerable and, let people know that you're not all right is will go a long way for you. For me, the way that I approach life now with a very on my sleeve, open and honest, transparent kind of attitude has seemed to benefit me.
If you don't mind me asking, who was the person or what was the breaking moment where you kind of took on this new mantra?
A buddy of mine, Mike Seander, who's a musician, we've been really close over the past 6-7 years. This is how me and him would talk. This is, the way that I pretty much speak in most of my interviews now, and being open and transparent and honest and real is something that we talked about for nights and nights on end, and kind of just shaped that and it on its own. I got around good people who cared about me and cleared my mind to clutter a little bit, and allowed me to, feel better about what I was doing in my life and, the decisions that you make in your life. I wasn't second guessing myself anymore, or, I was just letting life be exactly what it is and being open and honest about it. And it seemed to be better for me and us.
How'd you meet him?
When I was in college, he had a show in College Station, and we ended up talking online, and then just kind of kept in touch throughout the years. When I moved to LA after my days in Cleveland were over, he lived there as well. We lived pretty much around the corner from each other in Studio City, and just developed a really close bond and a good friendship. He's the person that, kind of helped bring this documentary to light a little bit, helped put me in front of the right people to get this done, and has been a great friend for me throughout the last decade or so.
I gotta ask you a question now. November 12th, 2012. Does that date ring a bell to you?
It does.
You gotta tell me, what did it feel like? How did you feel after that game?
Looking back on it when you're in that moment, it really is a laser type of focus that I had never had in previous games before. It's one you want to win so bad, and such a great opportunity for our team, such a great opportunity for me personally to be able to go do the things that I wanted to do in life. I'm sitting here 10 years later and I talk about this game weekly. I get stopped when I'm getting gas, or if I'm out at dinner or something, and it comes up really, really frequently. So to be able to have made a mark on college football like that's still around a decade later is, it's special. And it was a special day, a special win for our program. And it was really fun to be on the sideline when we beat Alabama again a couple years ago.
After that game, you cemented your legacy. Your nickname, Johnny Football, was born, and then you won the Heisman. That's crazy. Like, what was going through your mind when that all happened?
Yeah, it's just like how do these things that you dream about as a kid come to fruition? The Heisman bias, against that a freshman may never win the Heisman, was very, much in the front and center of that year. To break down that barrier and be able to be the first freshman to lift that trophy still means the world to me to this day. And I'll always have that. I go back home and see my family, and walk into my grandma's house and see my trophy sitting there. It's it's special. It's as historic and legendary as it gets in college football, and that's something that they can't take away from me.
So you gave your grandma the trophy?
It's in my grandma's house. Yeah, it's a family heirloom at this point.
It should be 100%. What is the biggest difference you see in yourself from the man we know today and the freshman when you first stepped on the gridiron at Texas A&M?
Yeah, definitely less cluttered in my head. I'm a little bit more at peace at the point that I'm in my life right now. I'm able to enjoy things a lot more than I was at that time. For a long time there, I was kind of like a chicken with my head cut off, just running around. And now life seems to be a lot more peaceful, a lot more easy, free. I don't have people in my business all the time. I'm able to live a life that I kind of want to now, which is, a lot more on the scale of normalcy rather than fame and chaos and everything else that it was back in 2012.
Speaking of the chaos of college football season, it is no secret you were paid some money for autographs, et cetera, et cetera. How do you think Johnny Football, the brand, would have benefited from NIL deals that are currently going around?
It would have been, probably to a point where I wouldn't have had to go to the NFL to make money. I would have been able to stay in college for a couple more years and absolutely clean up. But, I think college football is in a better spot now because of it. It's nice to see these guys getting what they deserve based off their name, image, and likeness. And, looking back on this story, there's a ton of things throughout the past that, had an impact on getting to where we are in the college football landscape. And, my story is probably a little bit of that.
So let me ask you, if the NIL deals were in place, would you have just cleaned up and not gone to the NFL and lived your life? What would you have done?
It's tough to say. It's such a big what if, who would have known?
Yeah.
It's, are you making X amount, or is it more? Is it less? Is it this? Is it that? It's kind of hard to, talk about something that's in the present now, but wasn't around in the past.
We know they would have thrown you the bag. So with that being said, in that hypothetical, what do you think?
I mean, probably, yeah. I look back now, and I think one of the things that I just I wish I would have got to enjoy more of College Station. I wish I would have got to enjoy more games in a Texas A&M uniform. I wish I would have, got to stay and finish out my time with people that I came into school with. I wish I would have had the opportunity to, maybe win an SEC championship, maybe get an opportunity to go to a national championship game, be able to do more for my school in that jersey, because those times were the best 2 years of my life.
All right. Well, in the documentary, not to give any spoilers away for anybody, you love the name Johnny Football. So I got to ask you, what do you prefer? Johnny Football or Money Manziel?
I probably like Johnny Football the best. It was fun. It was fun during those times. It's fun when your nickname is, named after the sport you're playing. So, I definitely don't get called those things as much anymore, and it's kind of nice to just be Johnny at this point in life.
Okay, but you're opening up a bar in College Station, Johnny Manziel's Money Bar. It's ready to go. What are your big plans for the venue?
I think we'll see, and it'll play itself out over the next couple of weeks. We got some ideas in the works, but I've always wanted a place in College Station. A place in that street, and that town has meant so much to me. So I think this is the start of some other things that we'll have coming there eventually over the next year or so. But it's another great opportunity for me to get back to College Station, get to some games, and be able to do something after. So, I'm excited. My partners in that are excited as well. So it should be great.
You've talked about your relationships with LeBron during your playing days, right? What impact did he have on you as a player and a person?
Yeah, I think, during some of my toughest times, even in college, he was a person that reached out to me to, try and keep me focused, try and keep me upbeat. That guy did so much for me during my time in Cleveland. His people around him and his camp did so much for me. I'll always be extremely grateful for the care and the love that he showed me, my family, and all of my friends. So, doesn't get much better than that. Doesn't get much better of a person than him. And I'm very thankful for that I got to spend, any amount of time around that guy.
Before you go, I do have one more question for you. Draft Day by Drake. Your name is mentioned. I got to hear the backstory. Did you know that he was going to mention you? Or was it just like something you woke up one morning, you put on your iPod, and that's what you heard?
No, I was at my girlfriend's house at the time in college. Just got out of college, decided to go to the NFL. This was probably, February of 2014. I get a call in the middle of the night, and it's Drake and one of his boys, and he's like, "We have to play this for you." Plays it for me. I'm just like kind of losing my mind at the thought that this could have ever been a reality. And you know, what a great song, what a great dude. Really, really cool to be able to say that, you know, I'm friends with that guy and that I got to do the things that I've got to do, you know, with him. He's a legend. The song's legendary. So I'm very proud of it. You know, the OVO and whole Drake crew, you know, meant the world to me growing up, my time in college, and then going on through life still to this day. So, you know, I always have that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us at Sports Illustrated. I am your host, Melissa Amrita, joined by the legendary Johnny Football, and we will catch you guys soon.